Hey, welcome back to Dan for Golf. Does your impact look like this? Does it look like that? Do you want it to look like this? All right, so today we are going to talk about the impact, but we're going to more specifically talk about the issue with chicken winging or coming into impact with bent arms, and how do we get our arms to feel more extended through impact. All right, so as always, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We always appreciate that. Give us a thumbs up so more people can see the video, and hit that bell button so you see the notifications of new videos that we have coming out next. Everybody knows that impact is basically the key moment in the golf swing. If you can have a really good impact, it can make up for almost most faults in your golf swing, because you can't really have a good impact without actually having a good golf swing, okay? So that is a key indicator of your success. Is what do you look like at impact? What does your divot look like at impact? What does your arm structure look like at impact? Okay, so the first subject that we're going to cover is how do we get rid of the chicken wing. All right, if you don't know what the chicken wing is, it's basically because your arm comes through like that. All right, and that is a killer. You're going to hit a lot of stuff right. You're going to top a lot of stuff, and if you manage to pull it off, it's not going to go anywhere because there's not a good release for power that way. So what is causing that in your golf swing? Okay, the first thing that you have to understand is that for you to have the extended look, the extended arm through impact, your chest has to be open. Right? So most folks who come with the chicken wing is when they come through, right, you can see that their chest doesn't really have an open pattern to it. If you look at it from down the line, all right, they might be trying to shallow the club out so much that they're so worried about getting their shoulders to come this way to shallow the club that they're actually never going to rotate their chest, and they're going to come through with that arm looking like that. And I think usually the lead arm is golfer elbow. Maybe it's the right arm. It doesn't really matter. All right, but this is going to wear on you after a time because you're not going to hit the ball good. You're not going to enjoy the game the way we want you to. So the first thing that I want you to do is you got to work on smaller shots, and you got to work on rotating the chest open. So the chest has to be open through impact. Okay, if you get the chest open, I promise you automatically your arms will start to straighten and the chicken wing will start to become less. Right, so get that chest open. Once you get the chest open, you have to pay attention to what your arm does. Okay, so I want you to imagine as you're coming down that, let's say, back of your hand, all right, it's going to get to the ground. If it gets towards the sky, you can see how the elbow starts to change. All right, towards the ground, elbow does something completely different. Right? That's why you see the majority of golfers on TV or even high-level golfers is when they finish, right? Hand is usually here, kind of like you're shaking hands. Some might be a little bit there. A good majority will be there because of releasing the club. Right? So you got to make sure that when you come through, you're releasing the face, you're releasing your hands, and you have your chest open. I promise you, if you get those two concepts down, the chicken wing will be gone. You'll start hitting it with much more power, and your impact will get so much better. All right. The next topic is basically the bent arms at impact. Let's say you're doing a lot of stuff right, but you struggle with the bent arms at impact. Now, the bent arms at impact, it's caused for a few reasons. All right. So the biggest reason that I've come across why people come into impact and the lead arm, it's always the lead arm, looks a little bent. All right, which I mean, there's only one guy on tour that I can really think of does this really well, and that's Lee Westwood. So kudos to him because he's doing it well and he's playing well. He's playing at a high level, but we're not all Lee Westwoods out there. All right, so the first reason would be the bent arm would be is when you swing back, you bend your left arm. So when you come back down, it doesn't have a chance to look in that structured straight way. So the first way that you can fix the bent arm is you got to work on when you take the club back, that lead arm stays straight, so you can feel like you push it away. Whatever you need to do, if you need your backswing to be smaller, you're better off from there to there in a smaller backswing. You're still going to hit the ball probably more solid and further. Okay, but number one cause, keep that lead arm straight, because then it will like to return straight. So if you keep your lead arm straight and you still have this bent arm thing, the next reason why you could be struggling with the bent arm is what your head does. All right, you might be working on so hard on staying down with it that it's causing you a little bit too much issue. So you're coming down and your head, everybody says good tour players' heads drop, which is correct, right? But you're coming so far down that your arms have learned to pull close to you, otherwise you chunk it every time, right? So you need to focus on trying to keep your head nice and tall, nice and level when you swing, rather than driving so much down, okay? So that could be another reason. So your head is level, your left arm is straight, all right? If you are still having a bent left arm at impact, again, you just got to get your chest open, because the chest opening will help the arms extend. All right, same thing with the backswing. If your chest doesn't open, the arms will collapse. All right, it's basically a mirror image. They're going to mimic each other on each side. All right, so if you have those things going on and you still just not hitting the ball great at impact, you still have kind of bent arms. All right, this is kind of off topic of the video. All right, but when you're coming down, let's say lead arm straight, head drops a little bit. All right, which is actually, it's a pretty good move. It's a power move. It means you're using the ground. Then you have to learn how to push off of the ground to get the arms to extend. Okay, if you do that, you won't have bent arms at impact. It's a weird feeling. It's a hard feeling in the beginning. All right, but I hope these little videos just kind of help you get rid of the chicken wing. All right, just make sure you're doing the right moves. And the last tip that I can give you is, if you're still struggling with getting your chest open, just release your head a little bit easier or a little bit sooner.